to our fifth, wow, number 5, how-to video on Nexone Repree. This one is going to be on how to add forms to our transactions. And this is where the fun begins, guys. So we're going to go in, and I'm going to use Tommy Test as my my buyer or my seller and his transactions. So in this particular example, I'm actually going to use a listing. And at this point in time, I want to take this listing that I'm getting from Tommy Test at 456 Storm Street, and I want to add the listing documents to my file. So, as we had talked about in the first video, you're going to be moving from your left to your right. So we're in the middle now, so let's move to our right. There's an orange button that says add a document. Sounds like we should press that one. Okay, we've got a pop-up here. We've got launch forms. We've got add files. In this case, we're going to grab our listing forms. So we need to press the launch forms. So we're going to hit that, and it's going to take us in to our version of web forms. When the screen opens up, all of the forms, as you scroll down, are all the same forms we used in web forms. It's a lot to scroll through. You can, if you knew the numbers of the documents, you could write that in. If you knew the category they would fall under, or you could actually put the name of the form in there and hope that it comes up. We've made life so much easier for you guys. Where it says you've got the area symbol, then you've got all forms here. Right next to it, you've got my groups. Click on it. We have put together transaction kits for you. So we have all the forms you need for an agreement of purchase and sale freehold. The same thing for purchase and sale condo. As we go down, we have another kit for a PODL. We've got one for a residential lease, including the Ontario standard lease form. We've got listing documents for a condo, for freehold, listing document for a lease. And then further down, we have the same type of kits, but for commercial transactions. So I'm going to pick a residential listing freehold form. So all I did there to make it go blue is press in the actual box where all those forms are. I'm going to go over and hit populate. If I had the MLS number, well, I wouldn't have an MLS number because this property hasn't been listed yet. I could actually put in the land registry PIN, the property identification number, and hit populate with data. And it would fill in all of these categories for me. In this example, I'm not going to put a PIN in. I'm going to go down to the bottom where it says continue without data. I've clicked on that. Now my forms are opening up. These will be freehold lease forms. And as you see on the left-hand side, we have a list of all the forms that are in this transaction kit. Now there may be forms such as a suspension or a cancellation or an amendment to the listing agreement. You may never need those, but if you did, you can always come back into this area and grab that form. So don't delete it. It's there for you if you need it. And if you don't, just ignore it. So this little pop-up screen on your right-hand side, you can close it and it slides in off to the left. You want to open it up again, you can press the little arrow. One of the reasons you might want this available to use is if you wanted to jump to another form, such as working with a realtor, you can just click on the form in that little dialog box and it jumps you to that particular form rather than scrolling down the side to the forms. So there's two ways to fill out these forms. You can fill the forms out down the left-hand side, and you just simply tab to each category and fill the information in. Or you can fill in the form as you go through. I'm going to stop for a quick second. We're in a listing agreement, and I just want to point something out. This is a very common error we see when we're validating forms. When you're filling in the commission, the first opening or the first line, that's the total commission the seller is going to pay on this transaction. That's including your commission and the cooperating broker commission. So I'm going to use that as an example, 5%. If there are no other terms or anything else, you wouldn't fill that in. But the second box with the percentage sign, that is what you're going to pay the cooperating broker. So remember, this is the total commission. Cooperating broker will get 2.5. If this says 2.5 and you have a savvy seller and you've got 2.5 here, you're not getting paid. The seller's going to say he agreed to pay you 2.5 and you agreed that you're going to give 2.5 to cooperating broker. So you're out of luck. So please be very careful. Take your time in this section and make sure you do this correctly. We have had lots of problems with this and we see it come up all the time. All right, so I'm not going to go through filling out the forms. You guys know how to do that. But I'm going to end it there, and I am going to, on the next video, show you how you can put these forms into your transaction. All right? For the next one, talk to you soon.